Hey guys, this is week 2 of the 3-week SaaS challenge. I've decided to change up the way that I shoot the video. So instead of shooting a recap at the end of every day, instead this is the end of the week. Actually, it's a little bit past the end of the week. And I'm just going to go through a day-by-day recap that I wrote down in a document, just so that I'm not cutting between days as much and it's not as confusing. If you remember, on Monday, I was still having problems with that Gemini file manager plugin. I spent pretty much a whole day trying to fix it. I didn't really get anywhere, but what I did do was make a plan. This plan, it was really janky, but it actually worked surprisingly well. So the plan was to upload to Amazon S3, and then once that upload is done, call to an API endpoint. This custom API endpoint would then download the video from S3 and upload it to that Gemini file manager plugin on the server. Then that Gemini file manager plugin would return with the URI of the uploaded file. And then we could pass in that URI into the actual generation thing on the client, so we could actually generate the documentation page. After I came up with that solution on Tuesday, I spent the day implementing that. Even though it was kind of slow, it worked phenomenally. It was very reliable, which is very surprising given how janky it is. Just a bit of a side note, I have no idea if this solution of downloading to the server is gonna work when I deploy onto Vercel or not, which might be a big problem and possibly delay the launch, but I'm doubting that. Whatever, there's only one way to find out, so we'll see when the time comes. On Wednesday, I set up a Postgres database in Supabase, and I wrote some code that will upload all the generated content that you would get back from Gemini when you generate a new documentation page, and also wrote some code to upload some metadata like the amount of tokens used, the amount of tokens that went into the input, the amount of tokens that went into the output, the time it was created at, a unique ID for debugging. So I spent most Wednesday doing that. I skipped Thursday because I didn't get much time to work. I was pretty busy with other personal stuff. Friday, though, was really productive. I spent my afternoon setting up exporting for the generated content so that you can export your documentation page by copying it with Markdown, exporting it to a text file, and exporting it to a PDF. I also started to set up billing with Stripe, so that was setting up pricing, setting up the products in Stripe, and creating a setup page so that users could select a plan when they sign up. And I spent my evening creating all the demo videos that I needed, so that was 4 or 5 demo videos, plus editing them together and making the demo page in Framer. I didn't do much on Saturday. I finished setting up Stripe, and I finished setting up the setup page that users get redirected to when they create their account. Skip Sunday because I didn't get much done. I know this was a shorter video, but I did have to kind of like go off memory and write down everything that I did over the week, which sucks because my memory isn't great, but I hope this still gives you some insight into what goes into building a minimum viable product in 3 weeks. And as far as I know, I'm still slated to hit that goal of 3 weeks, and it'll be coming out Sunday, I think, Sunday the 23rd, if everything goes right. But if everything doesn't go right, number 1, you should look at my Twitter page, which I will link in the description below. Please go follow me. And 2, don't be too surprised by it, because even if it's not directly on the dot for 3 weeks, this is more for showing what goes into building a MVP in such a short time, rather than hitting that specific deadline. If you're looking for some of the tools that I used and the frameworks, and I'm also going to be writing a blog page for that, for the 3-week challenge. You can find links to that and lists and everything on my Twitter page. The last week will have much better and a longer and more in-depth video, along with a recap of the entire thing, and if I think that you should try this as well. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. Stay frantic.